Just excuse the cup of tea. I am British after all. While I'm sipping on my cup of tea, I'm gonna be telling you about cool things in Britain. Some British traditions. And just overall British things and some nice places as well. So you can compare it to wherever you're from. Also, let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments about some cool things about where you're from, because if you don't know me already, I have another channel, which is a travel channel, and I love traveling around. I love experiencing different cultures, and I just find it so fascinating. So, as I sip on my cup of tea, let's get into it, okay? So, firstly, I'm gonna start off with talking about some classic English food. Bearing in mind, some of these foods I like, some of these foods I do not like, and to be honest, it depends where you are from. In England, and obviously everyone's got different taste buds as well, and obviously England is a very diverse country now. So there's more influences in. So, number one, as you might know, the English love to have a roast dinner on Sundays. So, do you know what a roast dinner is? So, a roast dinner is basically a big dinner we have on a Sunday where family come over. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Family come over and you share a big meal at a dinner table, and that consists of like roast potatoes, roast chicken, roast beef, roast vegetables, and stuff like that. So what is the roast part? The roast part is basically oil over the top of the food, and stick it in the oven, and that's how you roast something. So some people, some like foreign people that are coming to England might look at English food, for example a roast dinner, and they might think it is gross and disgusting because it lacks spices and herbs and stuff like that. Like, you can't compare British food to Korean food or British food to Indian cuisine, right? However, call me biased, but I think Sunday roast is one of the best meals in the world. It's nice and healthy for you. So, that's how you can get them gains, if you're from Britain. It's nice and healthy for you. And to be honest, it's nice, hearty, it's veg, it's meat, and that is pretty much it. And to be honest, I think it's absolutely delicious. The other one is fish and chips. Fish and chips, obviously. You may have heard like the classic, oh, you're British, you must like fish and chips. Yes, we do. However, I'm a little bit picky. There's a lot of fish and chip shops that are disgusting. They're too greasy, they're too oily. I don't think they change their oil enough, and it makes the chips and the fish have like a really horrible flavour to it. Yeah. So what I prefer doing it myself, or going to a nice place where they use fresh oil and it tastes really good. Okay, let me tell you about some weird ones. By the way, if you've ever tried either of them, just write it down in the comments. I'm curious to know. And tell me, what do you think of that roast dinner? What do you think of that roast dinner? Okay, some weird ones. So, if you're from up north, sometimes, one second. I had to have my tea break, you know. Did you know a British person can achieve anything if he has a cup of tea in his hand and he sips on a cup of tea? Anything in the world. Yeah. Okay, so from up north, they have some different traditions. So some of them traditions could be deep fried food. For example, up north they might have deep fried Mars bars. So do you know, like chocolate bars, like a Mars bar. Sometimes up north they might have deep fried Mars bars, and they eat that. And to be honest, that's not my kind of style of food. I'm from down south. So I prefer like nice, fresh. They eat fresh food as well, but they have weird traditions. Up there, a little bit different to what I'm used to. If you go further north into Scotland, which isn't England, obviously, however, it's still part of the UK. They have stuff like haggis, and they have stuff like I don't know. But haggis is basically blood. They eat blood, pig blood mixed with like oatmeal. It's basically pig blood mixed with oatmeal. And to be honest, I'm glad I'm English. I do not like haggis or black pudding. I do not like black pudding. Okay, so how do we sound? Here in Britain? Well, firstly, it depends. It depends where you're from. If you're from an area where I'm from, down south, you just sound pretty much bog standard English. If you're from London, for example, or you're in a younger generation, you might speak like, "You what, mate? How you doing, mate? What's up, mate? You what? Do you know what I mean? If you're from up north, God knows they have a totally different accent, and to be honest, I'm not even going to try and do Scouser or Manchester or Newcastle accent, because I'm no good at it. So if you're ever wondering, when you come over to England, like, why can I not understand like how people talk, is because even though we're such a small island, we have so many different accents and ways of speaking. Like, to be honest, even here down south, if you go out to the farms and talk to the farmers, sometimes you can't even understand the farmers, anything they're saying. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Even though they're just 10 miles or 20 miles up the road, you can't understand them at all. Yeah. So, question. Have you ever come to England, or are you wanting to come to England in the future? Because we have some cool tourist spots. We have some really cool tourist spots. For example, we have loads of history. For example, we have buildings, like even just down the road from me, that are not like of any significance. In fact, people even live in them from like 500 years ago. They was built in the 1500s. Now, if you are from Australia, or you're from America, that might seem like, what the hell? That's crazy. But here in England, that's normal. We have lots and lots of castles. As well. Like Dover Castle and Tintagel Castle, and we have lots and lots of castles. And you know what else we have? We have Stonehenge. have you ever seen Stonehenge or heard of Stonehenge? So basically, it's a rock formation that they don't have a clue when it was put up. Basically, some people say it's 2,000 years old, some people say longer. They don't have a clue. However, it is really interesting to see, and me and Taj actually got the opportunity to go there for. It wasn't summer solstice. It was spring equinox, and we got to go there like 4 in the morning, and we got to see all the druids and the people there celebrating spring equinox for when the sun come up. So we have plenty of history. And do you know what else we got there? Do you know what else we got? We have me. I'm part of England. So if you ever do want to experience England, just let me know. And I can give you a couple of tips. Also, like I said, let me know where you're from and give me a couple of cool facts. Okay, hopefully this video has relaxed you slightly about me talking about facts about where I'm from. Okay, take care, and I'll see you next time. From Brad the Brit. Bye bye. Thank you for choosing Brad ASMR for your relaxation. Make sure you click on the screen